Well, life itself is a journey. People move, they become veterans in service of humanity. And today we want to discuss with a veteran, a man who has seen it all in service to humanity. I am in your house, but I have to give you a seat, sir. I give you this seat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
My name is Ben Adam Shaman, and the program is The Veteran. Under The Veteran, we want to look at the lives and times of legends, living legends, of course. And we have come to a man, to a gentleman officer who, at the point, was a minister of interior, who, at the point, was the chief of army staff in this our country. But I'll not talk too much. It is his to talk all of that. This is Third Eye Africa TV, and my name once again is Ben Adam Shama. I want to welcome General Abdurrahman Bello Dambazau to Third Eye Africa TV. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you, Ben. I also welcome you to my house.
Thank you very much.
Even though you offered me the chair, which I accepted.
I tell you.
Thank you.
That's the nature of the program, yes. And I want to thank you.
Yes.
Now, I can see it's in the blood. A military officer. Your dad, your father, was a veteran of the Second World War. You also have brothers who were also part of the military in Nigeria. It looks like, not that it looks like, it is in the blood. How did it all start as a child? Let's get to know the background of your childhood days.
Well, like you mentioned, my father was a Second World War veteran, and who was involved in various campaigns in Burma, in East Africa, in North Africa. Of course, when we were kids, normally veterans, they tell their stories. So I used to be an ardent listener of his own experiences. Plus the fact that we lived very close to the military depot where he left service finally.
Depot in Zaria?
Zaria, yes.
Okay.
We lived very close to the depot. And we kind of, used to go to depot, to Nigerian military school as young as children, to play around and interact within the barracks. So barracks was kind of home for us. And also in the community I lived to, or we lived, we had quite a lot of boy soldiers who were in the military school then. So we used to admire them. They were our seniors. And some of them also, after leaving military school, they went to Nigerian Defense Academy. So they come out, we saw them, their plumes. So I think all that together kind of influenced me in particular to start, thinking of the military as an option in my life. And there we are today.
And not just an option, the best option.
Yes, as a retired general.
Okay, before your retirement, yes, let's go into the trainings that you had as a boy soldier, or even as a trainee, NDA and all that stuff. How was it like?
Well, I didn't go to military school myself as a boy soldier, but I went to a sister institution called Barrier College. I'm sure you must have heard of it.
Yes. I was supposed to go there, but I was sent to Kwara State on exchange program.
Yes. So the Barrier College produced quite a lot of a number of high-ranking military officers, including former heads of state, Murtala, Gawan, all of them were, Yaradua, Tafawa Balewa, Sardauna, they are all product of the college. In that institution too, as usual with most government colleges then, we had this club, cadet club. I kind of loved adventure. So I joined the cadet club, I joined scouting, I joined Minobi. These are three clubs that were adventurous clubs. So as a cadet, I was very active cadet in the college. And that itself started clearing path for me by the time I got to my final year in the college. I applied to go to NDA. And that was in 1973. And we got in 1974 after clearing the exam and the interview.
So, what's that discipline that is needed for one to be in NDA and remain till he is picked?
Well, all institutions, particularly military institutions, there are rules and regulations. Once you stick to those rules and regulations, the Nigerian Defense Academy is an institution that molds you. Even if you come in as a raw civilian, I'm not using that word negatively, but somebody who has no experience or background in the military, and you come in, they need to mold you in order to fit into the military system. So there's the issue of discipline. It's very, very paramount. And there are many ways to inculcate discipline into one during training. Drill, for instance, is one way. And obedience to orders is key, because any soldier that cannot obey orders, of course, not professional orders, not the type that would get you into trouble, but orders that are legally binding. So that it's also a factor that you build in. And of course, you must be able to excel, at least reach the minimum standard of officer-like quality. We have what is known as officer-like quality. And also, in terms of training, you must be able to pass your exams, both the professional exams and the academic, because it was a mix. During our time, we went through A-level subjects, which was moderated by University of Ibadan. So we got University Ibadan certificate, A-level certificate then. But now, it's a degree awarding institution since 1985. So those are requirements that you needed to ensure that you follow strictly to and adhere to strict discipline and adherence to rules and regulations, and don't get yourself into trouble. When it is time to be in the academy, even if you are given permission to go out, make sure you are back on time. So those are the kind of things we'll see you through. Then it was 2.5 years we spent, because for 5 terms, each term was 6 months. So that's it. With this, you won't get into trouble. You'll be able to sail through
Yes. So that's the regimented kind of a life.
Yeah. So it's a kind of regimented because you wake up as early as 4 a.m. And you start your activities then. For the senior cadets, probably about 5:30 a.m. But for the junior cadets, as early as 4 a.m. you are up, and you don't go back to bed until 10 p.m. And by 10 p.m., everybody was expected to be in his bed. So then you have your hours of rest. Then you wake up and then you start.
Usually, when youths of that nature, let me call it that way, meet their students and your background too, you look at the way you admired the young soldiers around the depot, then entering NDA, you should have some friends, classmates and all that stuff with some kind of nicknames, some football, some hockey, some whatever, Who do you remember as a classmate or a classmate?
In
NDA?
Oh no, all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Some are late, of course. And I want to tell you that we have still not left ourselves. We meet regularly as classmates.
That.
We meet regularly. Some of us have passed on. May their souls rest in peace. But for those who are alive, we meet regularly. If we don't meet physically, we speak on phone. So we are quite a number of officers that are classmates. So we have not left each other. The only thing that divide us now is death.
And probably distance. Physical.
These days, physical distance is no problem because there is ICT. You can call somebody on a smartphone and see his picture. You're talking to him as if he's close by. So physical distance is no barrier now. But certainly we are very close. That esprit de corps is still there with us. So we speak to ourselves. If somebody is sick, for instance, we contribute. Whatever you can contribute, to be able to assist the person in one way or the other. So we do that.
Yes. Yes, I've seen that you've held quite a lot of command functions after leaving the NDA.
Yes.
And so, in terms of taking or giving commands or instructions, what does it take at that level to be the commander of any unit?
Well, it takes quite a lot. First, you are a leader. And a leader within the military has what we call command responsibility. In terms of the training of your soldiers, in terms of their welfare, and so on and so forth. In terms of their discipline, in terms of their regimentation, because the military is kind of programmed in a way that is constantly in alert, because we pursue what is known as combat readiness. At any given time, a unit of formation should be ready, to receive a warning order to move for any kind of operation. So, with that in mind, you want to ensure that your troops remain, professionally at alert. And you cannot do that unless you are able to ensure that there is constant training. You are able to ensure that they have the right equipment, They have the highest, discipline, disciplinary behavior, and things like that. So it takes quite a lot. Not only that, their welfare, in terms of the, healthcare services, each unit should be able to provide formation. In terms of the education of their children, in terms of taking care of their wives and their families and so on. So that itself, it's a factor. So it's as a commander, you are a father, kind of. So it involves quite a lot. It's not just limited to what happens within the office environment, but also what happens, within, their homes and so on. So it takes quite a lot, in a nutshell. Yes.
Now, some people will say the Nigerian armed forces, that the number is far abysmal, is low. Some will say no, have little number but mobile with everything needed. What's your take? What's your observation in all of this as a former chief of army staff?
Well, you see, it all depends on the kind of threat you are facing now and what you perceive is likely to be the threat in the future. So I just give you a recent example of how the United States was trying to mobilize U.S. troops to the Gulf region. And to face Iran that has over 1 million, soldiers on ground, and looking at the terrain, the terrain there. So also you look at whether what you are facing today is conventional or asymmetric, like we're facing in Nigeria today. So all these are factors. And also you look at the territory as a whole. Nigeria's, the size of the country, the population of the country, all these are factors that will determine the number of troops a country should have. So when you look at the threats internal, you look at the threat external, you look at also the constitutional responsibility assigned to you. The military is supposed to ensure the sovereignty and territorial integrity of this country. And you look at the size of the country, you look at the over 200 million people within the country. And so that will determine how many boots you need to have on the ground, and also the resources available to take care of the strength available, the strength of your military. Because without resources, you will not be able to do that. And of course, the resources also determine the kind of equipment. Having said that, there are certain things that can replace the number of boots on ground using high technology. For instance, I give you an example. We have a border unit, for instance. Our border between Nigeria and Niger is about 1,400 kilometers long. Of course, you have border units for immigration, you have from customs, but the defense of the territorial integrity of Nigeria rests squarely on the armed forces. Of course, it is not just the army, you have also the air force. If it is land, where it involves sea, you have also the navy. But going to looking at it at situation of, for instance, between us and Niger. So if there are gaps, it's utterly impossible for you to cover the whole length of your area of responsibility with troops. Then you can leverage on high tech as it is today, and they are available to use that to be able to monitor activities within your area of responsibility. But monitoring itself is not enough without the capacity to respond. So these two must go together. So you must have the ability to monitor. You can sit down, using a device to see some distance, 50 kilometers away, 100 kilometers away, to see activities of enemy. But that is not adequate. You must have the capacity to respond to the enemy you are seeing. If you don't have the capacity, you can just monitor, then that monitoring is useless. So it's important. And of course, apart from using high-tech equipment, modern equipment, you can also use human intelligence. You be able to infiltrate communities around to provide you intelligence on enemy activities and so on and so forth. So this is how you will be able to close some of these gaps.
Now, before he died, former President Muhammadu Buhari,
yes,
at a point identified entry points. So since the government failed in Libya, arms were infiltrating. Said Borno axis, Chad, Niger, Cameroon, around Fotokol area, So if you identified all of this, yet we still see these infiltrations. It looks like it's a daunting task, isn't it, for the security agency?
Well, I tell you what, not only daunting task, it's an issue that requires very, very deep thinking to be able to sort it out. Because as it is today, my last counting, when I looked at numbers, there are about 40 million firearms in the hands of non-state actors in Africa. And out of the 40 million, 11 million of those firearms are within the Sahel region, which includes Nigeria. And of course, with the activities of insurgents, violent extremists, the secessionists, separatists, kidnappers, bandits, you bet that quite a lot of those of 11 million weapons in the Sahel, you find them in Nigeria. So there is no doubt that this is an existential threat to our national security. Now, for us to be able to deal with this situation, it requires more than the activities of our own security agency. We need partnership. We need partnership with our neighbors. Like I said, we have extensive borders with our neighbors.
Niger, and I can see the Americans are also in?
Yeah, Niger, Chad, Cameroon, Benin. So we need to partner with our neighbors. Certainly, no doubt about that, because if we sit down on our own and the other side is not doing much, then we will not be able to succeed. So we need strong partnership with our neighbors to deal with that. Of course, we need partnership with friendly foreign countries. or what I may call strategic neighbors. They are not immediate neighbors, but they are strategic neighbors in the sense that there are certain things that can flow in from them into us. So we need to partner with them. We need to partner with those who are also interested in this war against terrorism, like you mentioned, the United States. So this partnership must be of mutual interest, should not be one that is skewed against us. So we need that partnership to deal with the situation. But certainly it's an existential threat, and it's still with us. And if we succeed in cutting the supply of weapons, because this is what give the enemy the strength to bite. If we are able to cut the supplies from its source, then we'll be able to have reduced the threats we are facing from either insurgents or either violent extremists, either secessionists, and so on and so forth.
One is taken aback. Look at the successes of the armed forces in Nigeria. Every time we see people who have been, terrorists being killed, some arrested, some are receiving some rehabilitation to ensure that they become good citizens in terms of de-radicalization and all that stuff. But when you also look at just that influx, suddenly you're hearing Mahmoud Awas, you're hearing Lakura Awas, ISWAP, apart from Boko Haram that has been there. Where is the missing link? Where are they germinating from that we don't just get to know sometimes when it comes to intelligence network?
Yeah, well, like it's just similar to what I've just said now, similar to the threat we are having of influx of firearms into the country. These are cross-border issues. There are three major things involved in cross-border issues, three major criminal activities. There are others. One is human trafficking, which involves terrorism. So you traffic people who come in through the borders to commit harm. And that harm could include terrorism. And this is what you are talking about. There is the issue of drug trafficking. And there is the issue of arms trafficking. So these are three major cross-border activities that are threatening to our national security. And because of the porousness of our borders, because of the cultural affiliation of some of the border communities. I give you an example. If you go to Benin Republic, you will find, between maybe, I think Shaki is a good example. It's a border community.
That's
Shaki.
Oyo.
Yes, between Shaki and the community in Benin Republic. You find some cultural affiliation. You find that most likely they all speak Yoruba. You find that they have some cultural closeness. If you go to Niger, say Ilela, you're likely to find that the community in Niger, Ilela, the other side of the country, and in the ones in Nigeria, they have, some even family relationship. They are probably the same family. You find one in Nigeria, one in Nigeria. So that this too is a factor, in addition to the porousness of the borders. And of course, you also look at interests, either internal interests or foreign interests that are pushing for these people to come in for whatever reason. There are several reasons that's attributed to that. Some maybe because of mineral resources, mining, illegal mining, they use them. Some because of, religious extremism or ethnic extremism. Some because they just want to destabilize the nation. Nigeria being the strongest link in ECOWAS sub-region. Once you bring it down, you bring down the whole region. So there are various factors which the intelligence community will be able to analyze properly. So these are issues, and there's also issue of coordination even within our security agencies. And do this give enough room for people to come in and go out, taking advantage of all these weaknesses?
We'll just go on a short break just for some seconds and continue with the veteran. I'm talking of General Abdulrahman Bello Dambazau, former Minister Internal Affairs of Interior and former Chief of Army Staff. My name is Ben Sharma and the program is The Veteran. It's via Third Eye Africa TV. We'll come to you in a jiffy.
Crime is changing, so is the next generation changing. The next generation brings you real voices and real action and real stories. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay empowered with the next generation. Across our streets and communities, young Nigerians are taking a stand, using innovation, awareness, and unity to build a safer tomorrow. Witness young leaders, innovators, and change makers as they step into the spotlights. From community projects to breakthrough ideas, see the passion, the struggle, and the success. From neighborhood patrol to digital safety, we spotlight the youth shaping a more secured nation. Coming to you soon on Third Eye TV.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And yes, today we're talking about politics. And suddenly we see that sometimes when there are attacks here and there in Benue, Plateau, Zamfara, you just find the National Assembly, we hereby move the motion that the barracks should be moved to that. Where's the money? I mean, what does it take, for example, to establish a military formation that at the floor of Senate, you just hear, no, the military should just go. Meanwhile, they are the appropriators of the funds. Where are the funds? What does it really take to have a military formation and a marching order from lawmakers? What does it take?
Well, the lawmakers are not to give marching orders. It's the commander-in-chief who is the president that gives marching orders. But maybe in their own capacity, just making political statements, but not marching orders. If a lawmaker says the military formation should move, he will not move, because only the commander-in-chief will tell the service chief to move. Anyway, that is by the way. So that's just a political statement. Where the money is coming from? Well, the appropriation is 100% by virtue of the Constitution, the responsibility of the legislature. It depends on the kind of move. To move troops into operational areas is different from moving to go and establish a barracks. So moving troops to operational areas, the requirements are quite different. They are not going there to form a barracks location per se, but they are going there for an operation. And the military has laid down requirements and movement orders in order to get from a particular point to another for carry out certain operations. This doesn't come if the military requires, funding for that movement, whatever it is. It will, the leadership will inform the higher authorities that these are our requirements to make such moves.
Okay. Now, sorry to cut you short. Just want to go into internal affairs.
Yes.
Especially when you are the minister.
Yes.
At the point, some people will feel that internally there are things we are not getting right in terms of this out of school syndrome. When you have them in tens of millions, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 million out of school, it's an army waiting to be used wrongly. And then if you also look at the northern part of Nigeria, I'm a northerner myself, but one feels worried. The array of beggars here and there. How can northerners who have really made it in life help to give succor to these people in the streets who move with ball, just looking for the basics, food and water? How can this be stopped in the north to the best of your ability?
Well, first, let me clear that the issue of street urchins is a general problem. I don't know if you lived in Lagos or Ibadan.
Kano Street in Lagos, Ebuta Meta.
So you also find you go to the areas, you go to Ojuelegba, Oshodi, things like that. You find all kinds of agberos. You find all kinds of people sleeping under the bridge.
In fact, that Fashola said they should all go back to the north.
No, they are not even northerners. I'm saying they are not even northerners. They are indigens of the southwest, for instance. Just give you that. I'm trying to tell you that this is not a unique problem in the north. But I want to agree with you that we have quite a lot of large population of northerners who are on the street begging. And that isn't good enough. But I want to tell you that it's not the issue of a responsibility of somebody because he is rich. There's so much you can do if you are rich enough to help people. Yes, you should be able to help people who are in need. Whatever, you don't need to be rich to do that anyway. Whatever you can do, you do within your available means. But the sole responsibility of the security and welfare of the people rests on government. So it is the government responsibility to ensure that poverty is eradicated, unemployment is reduced, healthcare services are provided, food security is guaranteed, the environment is good enough for people to live in, and so on and so forth. Proper housing for people. So it's sole responsibility of government. And this is there in Chapter 2 of the Constitution, which is very, very clear. The purpose of government is security and welfare of people, not the individual. The individual can do what he wants to do within his available means. He doesn't need to be rich because it comes from the heart. I give because I believe the more you give, the more you receive. You understand me?
Yes. Let's not
throw it to the individual because he is rich. It's not his responsibility. It's the responsibility of government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you were chief of army staff, you were virtually exiting when Boko Haram struck.
Yeah.
And one is wondering the kind of support you got from the media in terms of changing the narrative of Boko Haram.
Well, like you mentioned, I think the insurgency actually started after I left. But the signs of the rebellion started while I was in office. And when President Yaradua of blessed memory took a decision that this group, then they were called Taliban, led by Mohammed Yusuf, should not be allowed to continue because they had formed enclave. And he gave the orders as the commander-in-chief that they should be rooted out of their enclave. And we did. And after we did, we arrested them. And the normal thing we do when we had such intervention in terms of, aid to civil authority or to civil power, it's to hand over to the police, which we did. And of course, after we handed over to the police, the rest is history because the police did not do the proper thing then. Because what should have been expected was to be able to charge these people to court, prosecute them, and allowed justice to take its toll. But unfortunately, they were executed, which Al Jazeera media, its TV station, took the pictures or the video of that execution and sent it out worldwide. And I think also that, created sympathy for them. This is my perception. After they went underground, I believe they used that, to come up and started the insurgency a year later also.
So the relationship, even today, as per the media supporting the military in the fight against insurgency, how will you read it personally today?
Well, I think the Nigerian media, to some extent, this support has been supporting the military in carrying out its responsibility. But of course, too, sometimes when you read things that somebody just write without investigating. You read things that are, strongly biased or prejudiced. So sometimes, just like most institutions these days, sometimes journalists allow their minds to be influenced by these primordial sentiments of ethnicity, of religion, of region, and so on. So sometimes when you read, when you see a write-up, you go through it, you will be able to see these things. Some journalists are objective, but many, write, in a way that betrays the ethics of the profession itself. So, but largely enough, you mentioned Chris Olukalade, who was my PRO when I was chief of army staff. I believe he had a very good rapport with journalists. He being a journalist himself, somebody who is a professional public relations officer. So we had it on a balance scale. I would say it was good.
In fact, I just had an interview with him before coming to this place, General Chris of the
Okay, yes.
So how do we actually cement, working relationship, good ones between the media and the military?
I think it's a two-way affair. I think I would say the military should do as much as possible to provide, relevant information that will help the media. Because there are certain information that are highly professional. The media should understand that there are information that are classified. Not everything can be said at a particular time because there are certain things that could be mentioned that could jeopardize the activities of the profession. Probably are in operations. If you mention them, the enemy may likely use them. So there must be that kind of understanding. But foremost is that both sides should be able to put it at the back of their minds always that national interest is very, very important. It's key. We must protect national interests in whatever we do so that we don't jeopardize it at all.
Yes, a last one.
Yeah.
You have retired.
Yes.
You've been writing books.
Yes.
I even bought one. I'm reading one.
Oh, glad. I'll take note of that for honorarium.
Thank you very much.
So that the publishers will know that I know somebody bought it.
That is if I didn't buy it legally. Yes. So what are you doing on retirement?
Well, I've been doing quite much since I left. I left, this is my 16th year of leaving service.
And this is my 4th year. Far behind you.
Yes. And initially when I left, I was doing quite a lot of security consultancy. But I'm above 70 now. So I tend to slow down, So I concentrate. We're running a private university in Kano.
That's the capital
city university, Kano. And it's a way of giving back to society. It's not something that you make money out of, but it keeps me happy because I'm able to see. We had our first graduates this January this year. So it gladdens my heart that I'm able to add value, I'm able to contribute to educational development in the society, indeed, higher educational development. So that has kept me where I'm a pro-chancellor, and I'm not just sometimes, it's a part-time job, but I get myself fully in it, leveraging on my experience and knowledge so that I will guide the management on how to run the university. I've been a registrar of a university, the NDA, for about 6 years. And I also had a master's degree in higher educational administration, which I did just by accident. I didn't know that it would become useful to me. So I leverage on that and my experience to be able to guide the management. And I want to tell you that it's been very, very successful. We started with medical allied sciences and pharmacy program. This year, hopefully, would go into law, and the next will go into medicine. So we are picking it gradually, but we are doing very well, I would say, in terms of not so fast, but I believe that it's been a success story. That kept me busy, and of course too, I've been participating in all kinds of conferences and seminars. I get a lot of invitations to participate, particularly in area that I know well, regional security, African regional security, areas that I know that I can, speak to the understanding of the audience.
What about farming?
No. I don't worry. I have a farm in Kaduna, which I just loan to people to farm because I don't want to be an absentee farmer.
Talking of Zimbabwe.
Yes, I don't want to be an absentee farmer. I would love to farm, but unfortunately, the only farm I have is in Kaduna, and I live in Abuja. And so I just give it out.
And one is also wondering about farmer herders or clashes at the point.
Yeah. Well, where my farm is, I'm not sure if we experience such in Kaduna. I'm not sure. It's relatively a calm place. But like I said, I don't want to be an absentee farmer. Yeah, herders farmers clashes. That is real issue. It's a challenge in our society. But I'm sure we would find a way out of it, even though some people try to distort it.
What about family bond? Your family?
Yeah, we are family together. I have siblings. Also, I have my immediate family. Where we thank the Almighty Allah for His mercies, for His favors. And I believe that nothing can be better than what He has given us.
So if you were to contest for a post in Nigeria, what would that be? To contest for a post as if you were?
Well, it has not come to my mind.
But if you were?
Well, that is a hypothetical question.
That's why it is if.
Yes, I know. I know. It requires me to consult with my political partners. So, as a matter of fact, they are to come to tell me that we think you can fit into this. Can you contest into this? Only God knows.
Exactly. So, listening to music, some would say young military officers, reggae was the stuff and all that. Did you listen to music when you were young?
Let me tell you, I still listen to music.
What genre? What type of music do you listen to?
Oh, I not the hard type. I listen to, soft music. I listen to jazz. I listen to traditional music, northern music. So, music to me, when I listen to it, it lowers my stress.
It is medicinal.
Yes. So I listen to it. I listen to music. If I enjoy it, I play it over and over. I enjoy it. I play it over and over. Even if the next person doesn't like it, it doesn't matter.
It's your choice.
Yes, it's my choice. So I listen. So even now, I listen to music. As a young man, yes, every young man went through that, who goes through that life. So as a young man, yes, we attended what you call it.
Some discourse.
Yeah, of course, we attended live bands and so on. Not now. Can't do that now.
So finally,
yes,
in military circle, who have been your mentors?
My mentors, all those who were my superiors, particularly who were my immediate commanders. I've had people, senior officers that I worked with from all corners of this country. Starting from the time I was a second lieutenant up to the time I was a major general. So I've had all kinds of people from all parts of the country. And I walked, and, we separated with every one of them peacefully, with good, uh, annual report given to me, and which meant that I was able to impress the person. On my own part, I was also able to learn from the person, because if you want to really understand a person, know his behavior, know how he walks, and so on and so forth. And also, don't hesitate to learn from the good things you see in him. So I think all those are my mentors.
A proud owner of the green passport, Nigeria.
Of course. Now that I'm ambassador, they gave me a red one.
Wow. So why will you come back from that? Why will you get from China to Nigeria as an ambassador?
Oh, quite a lot. First, I'll be in China to represent Nigeria and Nigerians in all kinds of areas. First, I'm aware that I'm now a diplomat. So my conduct, my interaction will follow the diplomatic rules. Second, there are areas of trade and commerce. There are areas of education, technology, manufacturing, and so on and so forth, agriculture, which you mentioned, which I believe that we leverage on that to be able to, at least bring in investments that would help in the development of our country, provide jobs, raise the standard of education, provide skills to our youth. And also, I understand there are quite a significant number of Nigerians living in China. I also want to be sure that their welfare is also is taken care of accordingly. There's quite a lot, I think. China is big in the world of itself. Also in Africa, Nigeria is big.
Exactly.
So there's quite a lot.
Two big countries.
So I'm going to do what will, bring mutual interest between the two countries.
Well, it is here that we have to end this program, The Veteran. And the veteran, we featured General Abdulrahman Bello Dambazau, former Chief of Army Staff, former Minister of Interior. Today, he's going to China to represent Nigeria, fly that flag in China. And like they say, when you are there, you bring something. It's like the hunter. You go to the bush, you bring something home.
Yes.
And we want to thank you so much, sir, for participating in this program, The Veteran.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Thank you.
Like we say, proudly Nigeria.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Proudly veteran too.
Thank you.